Well, good afternoon, everyone. It's a real pleasure to be here this afternoon and to welcome you to my hometown, The Hague, and to wish you a very productive conference. Firstly, I want to thank the ECMWF and the KNMI for the opportunity to provide some opening remarks today, and to thank you for the good work that you do, and of course to highlight the ever-growing importance and relevance of the Copernicus Climate Change Service for strategic decision-making. So my name is Laura Birkman, and I am a senior strategic analyst and head of the Climate and Security Program at the Hague Center for Strategic Studies. My institute looks at a broad range of traditional and non-traditional security challenges, ranging from great power rivalry and transatlantic relations to cybersecurity and natural resource management, to the energy transition, but of course also climate change. And as senior lead of the climate portfolio, my work centers around four key questions. What are the security and geopolitical implications of climate change? Where do the physical effects of climate change turn into security risks, and how quickly? How does the climate change and security nexus manifest itself in different regions around the world? And last but not least, what kinds of interventions can support the mediation and even prevent negative outcomes of climate-related events? Tackling any and all of these questions require an abundance of good quality data. So how do we make use of this C3S in our daily work? Let me provide two examples. First, HCSS is working with two Dutch startups currently called Blackshore and 52 Impact on a project, a demonstration project called Crowds and Machines that we do for the European Space Agency. And we use Sentinel-2 high-resolution data, a gaming platform, human input, machine learning techniques, and the cloud to assess and monitor the impact of climate change on food crops in the Mediterranean. The project makes use of a unique combination of gamers and machine learning to generate enormous amounts of training and validation data for different applications. Crowds and Machines is an example of the metaverse in action. We simulate observations of our world and get thousands of gamers to interact with them. And by developing a unique machine learning algorithm and linking it to the maps developed by the gaming platform, based on data, of course, that C3S also provides, we have been able to scale detailed observations on the ground and provide insights about the impact of climate change on agriculture across the Mediterranean region. Second, HCSS has a dedicated data lab that is specialized in the development of climate-related conflict predictions. As consortium member of the ongoing Water, Peace and Security Initiative, HCSS has worked closely with its partners to develop a global early warning tool. This tool provides the initial step in a multi-step process, again employing machine learning techniques to predict conflict 12 months in advance in Africa, the Middle East, the South and Southeast Asia. It does this using 15 to 20 global indicators that serve as model inputs, and these indicators were selected as most significant in predicting conflict from over 200 indicators that we tested. And on basis of these predictions, WPS is actually engaging with a number of hotspot countries to support local and regional capacity to mediate and even prevent some of the worst water-related security risk. And countries we are currently working in and with include Iraq, Mali, Kenya, Ethiopia, Chad, Mali, and Niger. And as many of you know, these are countries that are extremely climate vulnerable. We were humbled to be awarded the Luxembourg Peace Prize for Outstanding Environmental Peace by the Schuman Foundation in 2020. This really served as an encouragement for further improve and build on our efforts. And this encouragement was really needed because despite these important breakthroughs, we still struggle with making predictions of ongoing conflicts, and especially predictions of emerging conflicts. We're set to launch an updated version of the global tool this December, which will be even more accurate than the current version and have an extended geographical coverage, including Europe. It will also include, in addition to the predictive model, a causal model that explains what the specific relationship is between water risk and conflict in hotspot regions. To optimize the added value of causal models for strategic decision-making, HCSS is also developing policy intervention models. These models aim to support the selection of the best possible interventions, and after predictive and causal model development, present the third and final step to move from early warning to action. Policy intervention models serve a twofold purpose. Firstly, they validate and optimize existing causal models, and secondly, they help to retrieve a specific intervention option that can achieve a desired policy objectives. Of course, this begs the question, how can we enhance our efforts to develop more accurate causal models and more effective policy interventions? And this brings me back to you. HCSS has been a faithful consumer of C3S. We make good use of the climate data store, and the ERA5 global reanalysis, for example, supports the retrieval of climate-related variables that we use to enhance our causal models. However, our reliance on Copernicus data does not stop there. The maps provided by other Copernicus services, including the Atmosphere Monitoring Service, the Global Land Service, and the Security Service, also provide important and relevant variables for our work. We are ever grateful for the important work that you do, and your work is very relevant to us as strategy researchers to really improve and enhance the models that we make. Climate change may be a long-term threat, but it pervades many of the big challenges faced by society today. And this complexity requires us to work better together than ever before. However, the sectors and the organizations tackling climate-related challenges are still very far removed from those tackling security-related challenges. If I have any burning recommendation for you to consider, it would be simply this. Keep working towards integrating the Copernicus service into a single comprehensive service. Ultimately, integrating your data sources will enable us to move beyond predictive models, improve our causal models, and develop the best policy intervention models that may serve decision makers in their quest to manage the increasingly complex challenges of our time. I wish you all a very productive meeting, and that you may find new and innovative ways of bringing the CDCS into the future, and that you keep acting on collaborative opportunities. Thank you very much.